Welcome, investors. Some significantly important inflation data released this week: the producer price index and the consumer price index. We're going to discuss that data and just why are those metrics so darn important. Let's get into it. All right, so let's first take a look at some of this data. So I got a Market Watch article just highlighting the data and what it actually was. This column is the actual data presented. And then in your second column over here is the medium forecast by the economists and analysts. So we're going to scroll on down here to Thursday, April 11th, the producer price. What does this data tell us? Well, first they were expecting 0.3% month over month, but we got 0.2%, so a little under expectation. Set aside the food and gas producer price index only rose 0.1% from last month. So what is the producer price index, and why is it so significant? Why is it an inflation metric to begin with? The producer price index. Producer price index reflects the overall change in prices of goods and services at the producer level. So think your suppliers, your manufacturers, your distributors. And to help you guys understand, this little box over here presents March producer price, the producer price. And we slide down here over to April's producer price for the current period. And this net change is the number that I highlighted. So 0.2 was the number. That's the change from March to April. So the producers are the ones selling the goods, selling the services to your stores, to your Walmarts, to your Targets, to your Amazons. So just think of the producer are upstream of the economy. So because everything is going to flow down, the cost that make all those products is going to flow down to the stores, to the consumer. If the suppliers, the manufacturers and distributors are paying more money for the good to get into the system, they have to pass those prices on to the stores, and the stores have to pass the prices on the consumers. So that takes us to the next data point, the consumer price index. And why does that measure inflation? And what did the data? Let's pull up this Market Watch calendar data here again. So Wednesday, April 11th, we had the consumer price index. Expectations 0.3, however, we got a hotter than expected number, 0.4 month over month. Core, which is excluding food and energy, 0.3, and we got 0.4. So why is consumer price index so important? Okay, let's take a look at this. The basket in the back is a previous month's. What the prices that consumers are buying. The closer bundle, the tomatoes there, is the current prices that the consumers are paying for. That change from 1 month prior to the current month is that number that we're looking at. That middle section, answering why is consumer price index so important, it's used to adjust other government economic indicators. So think GDP, the gross domestic product, that tells us the overall economic productivity of the society. They take consumer price index, and that is a calculation in that GDP number. And then finally, why is consumer price index so important? It's used to improve benefit levels. Just think Social Security. What is the government looking at to increase senior Social Security payments? And because if the cost of living, the cost of goods is going up, Social Security is remaining level, those seniors are in trouble. They can't afford groceries. They can't afford to live. So it's got to go up by a metric. What do they use? They use the consumer price index to give senior citizens a pay raise. All right, so tune in next week. We'll have retail sales. We're going to discuss the numbers. What do retail sales tell us, and why retail sales are so important? Expertise you deserve, experience you can count on.